Hey guys, Troy Casey, certified health nut, super psycho chicken of cyberspace, your leader. Here again in Sayulita, Mexico on a biocultureretreats.com event. Very powerful event here with about 25 business owners, influencers, holistic practitioners. Really magic looking at the young people with good posture, good musculature, good skin tone, smiling from their heart, eating good food, grass-fed, raw milk, all natural nutrition. We've got a company here, Kaizen, that has a mushroom and coffee blend, and I'm off caffeine for a while, but I'm traveling, and I figured, when in Rome, drink the coffee. And so it's actually been very nourishing because we have the raw milk, raw honey, and their mushroom coffee blend. And I got no jitters whatsoever. So big shout out to Kaizen. Those young men have a great company. They came from finance and they wanted to get into personal branding and offer something natural and holistic to the marketplace that wasn't giving people the jitters. And so that's just one example of the many people that are here. And so I met Jack and Nikki. Today we're gonna talk about their story. They're amazing. Their company is called Spark Wildfire, and I talk about this, like ignite your passion, your purpose, figure that stuff out, and then go paint the town red and light the world on fire, baby. And so I'm very grateful that you guys joined us today. I listened a little bit. I listened to a little bit of their story during their workshop. I found great value. I've been in front of the camera for 35 years. I've owned my own personal brand for 20. I do believe in authenticity. When I talk to the creators of Bioculture Retreats, Christian and Dakota, I talked about putting together a course on authenticity and branding and marketing, and just start truth telling. Right? Storytelling is great as long as you're telling the truth, not lies, as we see all over the internet these days. A lot of
authenticity.
Yeah, a lot of sales and marketing people on steroids and just,
Lambo bros.
Lambo bro, and just all this fake, phony bullshit, right? Fake boobs, fake food, fake news, right? And it goes into the internet as well. And so this big illusion. So it's really nice and a breath of fresh air to also be with young people who get this, and young people that are healthy, because remember, 75% of the American people are obese or overweight. Chronic disease, even the politicians are running on that right now. So it's good that the youth is getting this and businesses are being built around that. So in an effort to bring you more fun, freedom, and phenomenon, Certified Health Nut brings you Nikki and Jack today. And so thanks for coming on the show, guys. And so, you told some stories about some challenges with family alcoholism, and you also told me stories about bullying, and you went viral early. So, Nikki, please tell us a little bit about your story and then how you started the company.
Yeah, so to follow that framework, I would say being viral online is a lot, especially when you don't expect it, and especially growing up very shy and honestly very bullied in high school. But personal branding has truly been an escape out of that. If you're in a life or a loop of monotony or just not having really a way out of the so-called matrix, I would say personal branding is that key that can take you anywhere. It can bring you to Mexico, to a bioculture retreat, around the world, to get your voice and your real authentic message out there without letting, hometown people hold you back.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit of the story you shared with me of what happened in high school?
Yes. I'm trying to remember how I framed it with you. Just like about going viral on TikTok originally.
YouTube videos.
You made
published them.
Oh, my YouTube videos.
Yeah. Tell that story.
Yes. Okay. So
Before you were in business, right?
Yeah.
Weren't you just making fun videos and being honest about your life?
Absolutely. So I was always kind of drawn to the medium of the camera. I don't know about you guys if you ever, I know you're in a different generation, but even just having an iPad with like iMovie on it when I was younger. I was drawn to that. So I moved to a new area and I started creating YouTube videos just for fun in the summer before I knew anyone. And then school started. And I soon found out that people from my school and the neighboring schools were all putting up my videos, my YouTube videos, up on the screen and making fun of them all together. And as someone who had already felt like it was hard to make friends and I'm in a new place, it totally crushed me, and I just deleted it all and I took everything down, and I didn't touch social media again for another like 5 years. At the end of high school, I started TikTok in 2020. And
So they were bullying you, putting you down,
yes.
picking on your content?
Yeah, just like, that's so cringe. Can't believe she's doing that. Like, that's so embarrassing.
And you
all
were
those
just a
kinds of
young girl
things.
sharing?
Yeah,
You let-
seventh grade.
7th grade.
Yeah, I was just making skits with my friends, different like little comedy acts at my house. And yeah, it just called to me and I thought it was fun. So that was pretty crushing enough to just quit that, delete everything, and not go back to the camera or creation for, till the end of high school. So it's kind of hard reflecting on what would have happened if I'd stuck with it with even those years. And it really lights me up now to help other people really find that spark. And hey, if this calls to you, knowing your why, so that when people hate, because they're gonna, to be able to keep going and putting your message out there and creating because it's for you and it's for other people. And I wish someone had helped me keep going, because I quit.
Yeah, well, you quit momentarily, and I'm here to tell you that you obviously have a certain je ne sais quoi, and you have the Midas touch because you already moved the people that much. So me as an outsider looking in and hearing a couple of your stories, so you moved the people enough for them to react, because that's what my job is to help people think. And if they're clicking, it's helping they're clicking and commenting, it's helping the algorithms, especially if I'm doing things that are honest with my heart. So you felt the backlash, you got the energy, the passion, the fire, something happened, right? Yeah. and then years later, you got back to it. You were sharing a very heartfelt situation with your father who had challenges with alcoholism, and that went viral, and you also got picked on by the media as well. So tell a little bit about this story. See, me looking inside, because most people can't make videos and get any views, but you make videos and get attention all the time, is the way it seems to me. And so tell us a little bit about the alcoholic situation and making that video, and how did that go viral?
So for me, I lost my dad a couple of years ago to drinking, and ultimately his liver failed. And when we were in the hospital, there's just nothing else I could really do but make a video. It hurt so much. I heard a song that really resonated with me, and I knew that I just didn't want this to happen to anyone else. And so I made a video with a message like that of, hey, stop drinking. And I'm bawling my eyes out. You can see the hospital bed kind of in the background. And I think it's at 15 million views or something like that. And there, as you can imagine, there are all kinds of mixed reactions. A lot of positive, but also news outlets picking this up and posting it, writing, "Girl fake cries with friend dying in background," which is totally not the situation of what it was. My dad was
Fake news,
passing.
as usual.
Literal fake news. So that...
And bullying, right? I mean, we're talking high-powered bullying.
High-powered bullying. So
Right? Corporate bullying.
corporate bullying. It could have been very crushing.
Did they even come out and interview you and to see if it was
No,
real?
no. No one reached out to me about anything. I just had friends start sending it to me. Actually, I ended up reconnecting with a girl who knew my parents from a very young age. Our parents knew each other when we were younger, and a friend of a friend knew her. And she told me that she saw the blog on her dad's phone, and her dad was like, hey, I know that family. You guys were friends when you were younger. So it's crazy how far news goes too and spreads around the world. Fake news is a really big problem. But what I can also say is when things go viral, people's lives change. And so many people reached out saying, hey, I stopped drinking for my kids, or I'm ready to talk to my dad and help him stop. I saw so many nurses reach out and say, you guys don't realize people are dying at 30, 25, 20 from liver failure, from drinking. And so many also uneducated kids saying, I thought you could only die of an overdose like in the moment from drinking. If you drink too much in the moment, I didn't realize there were even long-term health effects that could wear you down to this point of your liver failing. Just crazy, crazy impact. We took an emotional intelligence class in San Diego and did a really powerful exercise where if a boat was going down and you had 3 votes of who would survive, you would give them your stick. So he gave me a stick, and actually, by the end of it, I was the one who had the most votes. And that's when, too,
I made the boat, too.
Oh, you've done that one? Yeah, nice.
I wasn't the most, but... But that feels good. Like I said, you have the Midas touch of some je ne sais quoi that's very special. So please continue sharing.
Well, I did not expect to make the boat. I definitely did not expect to have the most votes. That's when I was still very unsure of myself and coming up with fame in real life, but still not sure how to translate that into real life relationships back then. But anyway, this was a big flipping moment of that because one of the guys came up to me and he said, hey, I didn't want to say anything about it sooner and kind of like be weird about the experience, but I wanted to let you know I chose you and I gave you my vote because I already know who you are. I started following you and you started posting about your dad and sharing about that. And I stopped drinking for my kids. And that was the first time I realized my platform had a real impact on in-person people in their lives. And in fact, a lot of people are also scared about sharing what's been hard, sharing if there's an alcoholic situation in the family, being vulnerable. But actually, a few of my most viral videos are all of me crying.
As opposed to just the highlight reels in Mexico or in a shopping situation or at Erewhon Market, right? Because most people's reels, or most people's platform is their highlight reel. And so vulnerability can really touch another chord. I shared a lot about when I was going through my divorce and how I started doing breath work, and that helped me, and that helped a lot of people as well. So it's very heartwarming to hear your story that, and I had alcoholism myself, and to be able to be vulnerable and have this powerful technology to get on there, share your emotions, and then for it to help so many people. I mean, energetically, you can't really engineer viral. It's like either goes or it doesn't go. And for you to be able to touch that many people, that's pretty powerful. So tell us a little bit, what you learned from that, and then how you've been able to work with other young creators to help them brand and tell their story.
So what you've been mentioning about the fake news is so true, and just that everything feels so fake, everything is highlight reels, and I feel some people are scared.
Steroids too. I mean, let's face it. I have a big point of contention of that because a lot of influencers are trying to sell, hey, just buy my secret diet and exercise program or the blueprint, blah, 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 blah. And they're not telling you that they're on Liver King performance enhancing drugs, TRT, which is testosterone steroids, or peptides that make them look tan, trend that makes them look cut. They're sales trainers. They're bamboozlers, right? They're like, look at me, I'm so special
like
and
literal
strong
plastic
and
surgery.
Aggressive. Yeah, it's plastic surgery, boob job, fake boobs, fake lips, fake food, fake news, fake
tan.
Fake what?
Fake tan.
Oh, fake
Spraying
tan.
chemicals colored on your body.
Or the
is
peptide
wild.
melatonin. It's a tanning peptide.
Yeah, and that's why my message personally to young entrepreneurs is to really put their passion at the top, or their purpose instead of money. So many people put money on a pedestal and they end up creating these businesses that create no real value. Coaches
Correct.
that coach coaches that coach coaches, or people that are selling supplements, but really they're taking TRT, but they're promoting their whole lifestyles if they're all natural, right? There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of, sales trainers or whatever that, have these businesses stealing money from people, but they don't really create significant value. And it's because money is their North Star.
Correct. And the value is another marketing gimmick. I hear it taught and talked about all the time, offering value. Grant Cardone is one of those people, and I don't see any real intrinsic value coming out of him. And I know a lot of the sales trainers in Scottsdale, and they're just trying to hustle people. And I don't see that they're very happy either. I don't get a good vibe from them. It sounds good. Psychologically, it sounds good. Like, I want to 10X my business.
Yeah.
But I also see a lot of people that have spent that type of money and they don't get anything in return. And so, and everyone may be different, but the fact of the matter is I see a lot of non-value, a lot of bullshit hype.
Big time.
And sales and marketing, psychological training and manipulation, but no real delivery. And so what is ultimately fake. Right. And the jig is up because more people are very aware of this. And it's really good to see, two young people, holistic, bright-eyed, get it, eating organic food, understanding it, and helping people with their storytelling. So I really like this part about your guys' business around this whole storytelling. And I've been in business for many years, and I know that stories, facts tell and stories sell. Yeah. And if it's an honest story, all the better, because you can change the world, like you saw that with the alcoholic story. So tell us a little bit about how you work with clients and like how you craft that message and help people tell their story.
Absolutely. So Steve Jobs said that the most powerful man in the world is the storyteller, right? Stories were passed on from generation to generation, and the ones who listened to the story or could tell good stories survived, right? The snake that's multicolored, don't go touch it, it'll kill you, right? And if you didn't listen to that story, or you weren't great at telling that story, there were probably people dying from it. So when really finding a story, most people aren't that great at storytelling. Who owns the storytelling in today's modern world, right? It's, MSM, the corporations, they're great at it. Disney. They understand every psychological trick, tactic, etc. And it's time for the creators who are sharing authentically and really giving real value to the world to understand storytelling deeply so they can actually make that impact on someone's life.
Sharing that. Okay, so there are a few things to go into here. We're talking about how everything's fake. So we want to get out there. If you want to create content, you want to be authentic about it and share something that's going to get the eyes, but also connect and hopefully be able to sell too, because you want to create content as a career path. Okay, so.
And the essence of business is to solve people's problems.
Yeah. Exactly.
So serve your clientele.
You wanna,
truly.
Yeah. You want to serve and not just give them some fake BS that you're just parroting from a ton of other people.
So you can buy your Lambo, bro.
Yeah. So how do we dig in here? How do we start being authentic and share about ourselves, but then also provide value, actual value, and teach too? We can pop up the diagram too later in post-production. But where I really find people are missing is they're either more influencer and they're sharing about their life, but it's highlight reels. It's just perfect. Or some people are very authentic and they do just share their stories and the deeper meaning, but then they don't know how to actually teach with it too and provide value. So the perfect mix is really understanding, what do you care about? What are you passionate about at your core heart of hearts, and what can you give? Like you said, the gifting economy. What is that spark inside you that you know it can help other people?
Your effortless genius, your je ne sais quoi, your your passion, your purpose, your
Right.
legacy, what comes effortless to what you're good at, what you love to do. This is what I teach in my coaching program, because it's much easier to set up a holistic lifestyle if you know what your purpose and your legacy are.
Right. And it can be so hard to define that, though. And that's why so many people never do. It doesn't seem that important. And it's kind of elusive unless you really take time to reflect.
Write your
that
eulogy. That's my gift to
Yeah.
you guys. Just write your eulogy as if you're going to die and you're dead. And
What do you want to be remembered for?
right. This is I put my flag in Mount Everest, like get out and embellish, right? Because you want Bruce Lee, Jesus Christ, Julius Caesar. You want to put your flag in the ground. You want to,
Right.
because we can create. We're powerful beings.
We're so
Family,
powerful.
that's important. We need to claim that because procreation is prime directive.
Yeah.
So claiming that and getting really clear on that, and whether you want to get off porn and find somebody to love and not hook up with too many people and have skeletons in the closet, like these are all valuable, especially if you're looking at divorce culture. 2/3 of all marriages end in divorce within 3 to 5 years. So I go, deep on these things. Like, what do we really want? Because
super clear.
pain sucks. Alcoholism sucks, right? We usually kill our pain with drugs and alcohol or sugar or drama or other things. And that's the down part that's the dark side of the highlight reels.
Yeah. But it's so key. So that is the next part. It can be hard to identify that spark within you. So I usually take our Spark Wildfire members, which we call legends, by the way. I thought you would like that because you want to tell a story that's so legendary. One day people try to remember if it's a myth or fiction. Let's go down that far in history. Anyway, so looking back at the story of your life and truly going, what moments have shaped me into the person I am today? What was so hard that it forced me to change, to grow, evolve, learn something new? And now that I know it, how can I teach others about that? So honing in on those stories and beginning to share that to your audience, because when you do, people connect with the challenges that you've been through. It's Pixar's rule that we don't bond with a hero over their successes, we bond with them over their challenges. So if you're just sharing your highlight reels all the time, people can't connect with you. And that's why there's broke influencer syndrome, where you can have millions of followers and not be able to sell anything to your audience because they don't really even know who you are. A lot of thought leaders do this too. They provide a lot of value and they teach many things. But if you asked me if I know about what's their family like, how did they grow up, why are they this way, why are they even teaching this, I couldn't tell you because they don't let us in on that.
So it's like a deeper connection.
It's absolutely a deeper connection.
It's like the why. Like, why do you tick the way you tick?
Exactly. So what would you say are some key challenges, really hard moments in your life that shaped you into the certified health nut today? Why you share what you share now? What are those challenges you went through?
I put a lot of this in my book, and I'm very grateful for my challenges too, because it definitely jerked a lot of tears out of me over the years. So one of the biggest ones was being abandoned as a child. I was 14 at the time, and my father dropped me off on the side of the road with all my belongings, and my veins were popping out of my arms, and I was crying, and I was really hurt, and it was just a level of abandonment, and I think I dealt with a bit of that pain quite deeply. Also started running away from home because of abuse, and that it was my real father that left me on the side of the road, and I never really lived with him, but we got kicked out of my stepdad's house, and then we stayed with him for like a day or two, and then he dropped me off on the side of the road, and I was just like, I guess I'm unwanted. And that was pretty, I think a lot of my alcoholism and things I weren't dealing with later on in life really stemmed from those moments. And I've realized that a lot of the trauma, my parents were fist fighting when I was in the womb. So when I studied natural childbirth to bring my own children, to break the chains of abuse in my own family, when my son came, I found out that my parents were arguing and fist fighting while I was in the womb. And then, when I started modeling, I was bloating and I had digestion issues, and I realized that our curse is our gift. So for 35 years, I've been working to get my own digestion to be optimized, whether you call it Crohn's or IBS or vaccine injury or whatever it is. I've had to deal with an upset digestion and mastering that, and only putting pure food in my body and fasting and herbal detoxification. So these are like all big challenges I still, kind of deal with.
I know you shared too about mold exposure, right?
Mold exposure. I mean, I've had some hiccups. We moved 15 times as a family, and that put a lot of stress on our relationship. I went through divorce as well, and then subsequent lawyer banditos, cucarachas coming out of the woodwork trying to steal all your money, and like just opportunists. And I'm like the world's a pretty precarious place, and then trying to not be jaded and being open and loving and kind to myself and others and forgiving. And, because I don't want to walk around like a jaded asshole, right? Like everybody's out to get me. And, but I mean, there's some pretty chip on my shoulder. And, I probably have a little bit of that as well, but it's like being kicked in the balls. And then when you're down on the ground, being kicked in the teeth, you're like, fucking life's difficult. But I'm a fucking champion, baby. Woo! So I'm coming back up. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Absolutely. So it's made me stronger in business. It's made me more understanding. When you get those sidewinders that just want the money or whatever, you're like, oh, okay, all right. I've met people like you on the path before, and let me just go this way. Sounds good. Good marketing and sales techniques, buddy, but I'm going this way and away from you. So I've learned a lot, and I've also learned a lot about, I'm almost 60 now, so it's like 60's close to 70 and 70's close to 80, and that's only 20 years, and I've been around for almost 60, and a lot's happened, but shit, man. I want to make sure I'm living at peace and harmony and health and vibrancy, and so I just keep working on my ninja Jedi wizard skills, because I think that's how you navigate the whole dark side,
Absolutely.
The dark side of me, the dark side outside. Anyways. So.
And you've had to go through 60 years of learning all these things through the hard knocks of life. No parents gave you the moral compass, sat you down and gave you these talks. You had to find this stuff out the hard way. And so now do you want to help your followers not have to find that out the hard way and just skip over that?
Totally. I talk about abortions. I was part of 9 abortions. Everybody's like, my women's choice and abortions are good. And I'm like, okay. So I like to talk about my pain out there. And it's like, I didn't have that education. No one really sat me down. And it's like I was using drugs and alcohol at that time. But I'm here to tell you, every one of those women were heartbroken. And I'm sure they still live with that to this day. And that's not talked about when the political selection comes around.
Those stories aren't being told.
Every 4 years, everybody's like Roe versus Wade, and women's rights, and it's like, okay, and here are the ramifications of that. Are you let's be more cognizant of these types of choices. Sure, your body, your choice, great, but also understand that you don't want to use that as the morning after pill.
Yeah, especially in this world, you have to be so diligent and dive into learning because there's so many distractions and stuff out there. You get into health and you end up becoming a vegan and getting X, Y, and Z supplement, and they all end up destroying your body. Same thing with most relationship advice or business advice, right? Most people are just kind of repeating the same stuff, but they don't really understand the principles and the foundations and haven't drilled down to bedrock and found the simplicity that really makes an impactful life, right? So when most people are going up here and they don't have any foundations and they're just trying to do the tactics and such, you can see why they're unhealthy and unsuccessful.
Yeah, and the success can be short-lived, right? They can make the money and then lose the money and then when you lose the money, you can become an alcoholic.
Absolutely.
Right. And then self-medicating turns into homelessness, and maybe possibly fentanyl, or painkillers turns into fentanyl. And,
Absolutely. It's a downward spiral. I like to say the eighth wonder of the world is momentum, right? And it goes up or down. And, if it's going down, that's a train going down some tracks, and you want to stop that as any way you can. But if it's spiraling up and you have some wins in business and health and life, right? Like that momentum builds over time. And, the compound effect of just one small change in your life or anything 5-10 years down the road is you're in a monumentally different spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a statement: we underestimate what we can do we overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in a decade.
Yeah.
And consistency, I got to tell you, whether it's in the gym or whether it's with food or fasting or any of your health protocols, it's the consistency over long periods of time. There is no magic pill, which I think is really marketed on the internet, right? Just buy my course and you'll come to the promised land. And so, it's consistency over long periods of time. It's the martial arts analogy: punch, block, kick over long periods of time. Your white belt turns into a black belt because of dirt, right? Because you get into the gym every single day and you punch, block, kick. And so it's drilling the basics over and over again.
So one of the exercises we take our community members through is thinking about your ideal follower or customer, client, or member, and asking, what are the enemies and challenges they're facing in their life that's stopping them from getting to that dreamland of health and vitality and wealth and having a family, whatever it is their goal is. Identifying those enemies and challenges they have that you've also had, and then giving them one of these 4 tools, and you guys have just been effortlessly covering them naturally. You can give them magical weapons, and this is storytelling in the terms of reflecting on throughout history, how we've told stories, the story arc. What is the guy's name who's really famous, who designed storytelling and went into Star Wars and all of that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
George Lucas.
No, but who taught him? He wrote the fundamentals.
Carl Jung, the archetypes,
Jung
the
is
hero's
really part
journey.
of it too. Yeah.
I really like Jungian psychology.
And
Okay.
that's the storytelling
Exactly.
of all Hollywood movies. Ultimately,
Exactly.
it's overcoming the obstacles, starting the journey. It's the hero's journey. It's the story of Siddhartha or the Buddha.
Right.
Exactly. And if you see some of the most enrolling leaders in history, so it's not a huge motivation on we can have an amazing life and there's this big dream we can accomplish, but it's also like, hey, there's a massive enemy and they're at the gates and we're all about to die or become sick or X, Y, and Z. That's much more motivating for a lot of people. People are much more motivated oftentimes by fear, and instead of actually changing their life for some good. So leveraging that into your storytelling and saying hey, we've shared the same struggles, but also there's this big enemy that we're both up against.
Mm-hmm.
So identifying the enemies and these challenges in the hero's journey, if you guys remember, it's that triangle we learned about in school, up and down. And then asking, as the guide, positioning yourself as the mentor so that when you make content, you can share your story and also teach and provide value at the same time. Asking yourself, as the guide, magical weapons do I provide? This is physical items, maybe some of your supplements over here or your book.
Nutrition, my book.
Exactly. Then there's wisdom, that's metaphorical tools.
Mm-hmm.
There's moral compass, which we've all missed out on with alcoholic parents and had to find out the hard way. But you
or
want
the sex, as we were talking about earlier.
But you
and
want
my experience with the abortions.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had to learn that. People definitely need a moral compass. It's really key. So that's something we want to teach and share about through our storytelling as well as guides. And then there's general inspiration and motivation of hey, you can do this. Go towards the light. Don't go towards the dark.
Right.
These kinds of things. Use these tools. Here's your magical sword. equip them with these things.
Human cheerleader. That's what I do a lot.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, we're doing it, baby.
Right. And a lot of people, when they post online, they'll kind of do one of these of you just see a ton of these same like gym motivational videos all the time. Or you just see people saying, hey, use this product. Use this product. But as a guide, if you can tie in all of these from motivation to the actual tools to the moral compass of it all, of this is more of the right thing to do. Don't be a Lambo, bro, and just put money on a pedestal. You want God, something bigger as a vision and a mission
Like
to light up your spark.
True value.
Yeah.
Exactly. So tying in all of these can position you as the guide
What
in
are-
your hero's story.
What are some of the magical weapons? Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
What are some of the magical weapons? Big shout out to all the Lambo bros.
Well, I guess the magical weapons would be unique in case by case scenarios, right? Because everyone's going through a different journey and timeline. So, what magical tool that your mentor, whatever, right? Like Yoda comes in, right? It's a different tool for Luke Skywalker than it may be for a whole different story.
Well, let's talk about it in terms of mold exposure. What magical weapon, physical tools do you recommend to people that helped you heal yourself?
Well, number one, which is the most simple, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
the poison. So get a dry, comfortable house that isn't run by a slumlord, which can be challenging, especially in somewhere like Los Angeles, where there's high turnover. They just want the money. They'll paint over the mold. Also,
Wow.
a place like Florida, or even now we're in Mexico right now, finding a safe, dry home, like that's a huge magical weapon. And then from there, again, back to simplicity, like don't mess around with your circadian rhythms. Keep the electromagnetic radiation and pollution away from you. Turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Get good night's sleep, because if you're going to repair from mold exposure and mycotoxins, you're going to need your sleep. It's the anabolic phase of life. So getting in a comfortable place where your body can rebuild itself, get out of the poison, get the sleep, and then you can start getting into some other magical tools or fancy tricks like borax therapy or hydrogen peroxide therapy, which I don't advocate, but which I found on my own journey. And I've tried things that are very esoteric that may have the potential to clean the mycotoxins up. I also like urine therapy, which is very special to me, which is very weird to most people. And I understand, so that's not really my magical weapon, but these are tools and tricks that I have used to explore myself into my own, healing, to get the mycotoxins out of my body. Chelators, binders, nutrition, fasting, dry fasting.
Yeah.
Which is, you got to have a lot of discipline and knowledge to be able to pull something like that off, or a good guide.
In terms of inspiration or moral compass, you shared the other day that going through this mold exposure really took a toll on your mind. You couldn't think straight. You couldn't communicate right. Emotional volatility was hitting. What would you share about your story to help others going through mold that would help them go in the right direction?
I mean, it's hard. It's pretty challenging to figure your way out of brain fog, right? Because you're really compromised. The mind is God to the body, so it's actually dictating and directing everything that you're doing. And sugar feeds fungus, and that fungus can tell you to eat more sugar. Gets inside your brain, and so it is challenging. Some of the things that I read when I was going through that were, again, first get yourself out of that position, and then also the Wi-Fi exacerbates it.
Yeah.
So getting out into the sunlight, getting grounded to the earth, getting away from the mold, eating antifungal plants like golden seal and garlic. And I'll tell you, one thing that really, really helped me was the South American tobacco snuff, the hape from the Amazon. It's very drying and it's very powerful. And tobacco is a sacred plant. And so that really helped dry up my brain. That was one of the things that really got my brain back on point. and then compounded by being out of the mold into a safe environment, staying away from Wi-Fi as much as possible, living a holistic natural life in sunlight, in grounding, was able to get my brain back on point. Another psychological tip that I found, I read in Psychology Today, that 7 out of the 10 best things for mental health could be experienced with sharing a home-cooked meal with friends.
Yeah.
So healthy food, then love and connection with your brothers and sisters. And so I used to, I know a lot of interesting people, and somebody would come through Los Angeles, and I'd be like, yeah, come on over for dinner, and I'd make dinner for us. And then I didn't, my children were always with me.
Yeah.
So my children always get a kick out of what weirdo I'm bringing over the house.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting. And then a lot of people don't cook anymore, and a lot of people don't eat organic food. So there I am providing, an atmosphere for our own like entertainment, and we're sitting around, the house and sitting around the table and sharing food and sharing story, and there's no Wi-Fi and there's no cell phones out, and we're enjoying each other. And so I practice that a lot.
That's awesome. And that's such a, impactful story. So many people go through black mold or mold exposure, and it gets so many people. One thing that I heard that was pretty crazy the other day is that when mold is next to like a Wi-Fi router and 5G, the microtoxins are like 30,000 more. Like it's
600%, Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt says.
Okay.
Ambient Wi-Fi made mold and other bacteria grow 600% in his laboratory. And when he put a Faraday cage over it, it died.
So crazy. So thinking in terms of creating content, if you were to go and share this story, there's a really simple framework you can follow so that you're sharing your story and being relatable and also vulnerable at the same time, because that's what we relate over. And then sharing that, hey, I have this amazing life now. I'm ripped at 50, ripped at almost 60. Look at my results. I have been healing myself. Obviously, it's a continuous journey, but you've healed a lot out of that. And then teaching, hey guys, here's what you can do too. And finally, selling. So sharing whatever it is that they can buy from you to help them. So we talked about this framework in a workshop the other day, but to cover it again, I think it'd be really valuable for the audience watching. If you want to be a superseller storyteller,
nice.
Here's a framework you can follow. Number 1, sharing something ordinary. This is what's relatable. Can you say a line that you would share about mold and what you experienced in 1 to 2 sentences? What happened and how it was challenging?
I had no idea it was coming. It hit me hard. I lost my fucking mind. My family got fucked up. It was fucking hard, and chronic fatigue, man. I had walking pneumonia. I didn't even know it was happening, and it was just like, I thought I was a new parent that was just tired because I had all these duties. It brought me to my fucking knees, man, and it definitely fucked with my relationship with my wife, and she was stressed out, and it's invisible, man, and I had no fucking idea.
I feel you. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but now I'm happy that you're able to turn it into good and share this help with others. We asked in the group setting the other day, raise your hand if you've also had mold exposure. I'd say it was, 70% of the people? At least half. A lot of other people are also going through this. So now sharing, the next part of the framework, you shared something ordinary, relatable, other people are going through these also really challenging things. Now, what makes you extraordinary? Where have you come out on the other side of your own hero's journey? What transformation have you achieved? What wins have you had? What are your results?
Well, it's made me become a better practitioner. And at the same time, I had started studying with Paul Chek. And even though I had a lot of herbal knowledge and fasting and nutrition and many different facets of holistic health, it was him as the father of modern day functional fitness and strength training and probably the top rehab guy in the world, was able to put together a system for me to understand how to heal the human body with basically any ailment, and how to put it together, fundamental principles, foundational elements. And then I started studying with him in 2011. From 2010 to 2013, I was exposed to the mold. I went through his holistic lifestyle coaching program for 3 years. So I think I graduated in 2013. And I wrote my book starting in 2017. 2019, I was finished with it. So it took me about 6 or 7 years to get clear on my legacy, to create the cover of my book, The Body of My Dreams, become more successful in business, to put it all together, heal from mold exposure at the same time. It was definitely a hero's journey. And
what are your wins you would share? This is like a
I
flex.
became who I am. I became ripped at 50. I built an incredible business. I healed myself. I had a lot of wins and losses. I also went through a divorce. I just became who I became, and I integrated all of Paul Chek's teachings. So instead of just being a talking head, I became a holistic practitioner by healing myself.
So powerful. And now, what is a quick why? This is like one sentence or a few words. You said ordinary, then what made you extraordinary? Now is a quick why. Like, why am I sharing this with you in this video right now?
Because I'm here to help heal humanity, plain and simple. We can't have a healthy world if only I'm healthy and the rest of the world is not. So I'm here to give away this information as much as possible to help others and let them know that they can heal themselves as well. I healed from alcoholism as well. There's many challenges that I've overcome, and there is a better way. There is absolutely a better way. And if I can live healthy in a toxic world, then so can you, and we can change the world from toxic to healthy.
And now what are 3 tips about recovering and healing from mold exposure?
Don't fuck around with your sleep. Pay attention to your circadian rhythms. Keep the Wi-Fi away from you. Get grounded in sunlight every single day. Eat only organic food. Source pure water. Figure out your purpose and legacy, your due north that can get you out of bed every single day so that you're going on point. You're going to need all these other things to help you on your journey. Forgive. Be grateful for what is and forgive what was. I mean, don't carry that burden on you. Yeah, check your breathing mechanics, because if we're mouth breathers and neck breathers, that's going to elevate cortisol. Cortisol is going to increase inflammation. Inflammation is going to create disease, and disease kills dreams. So breathing mechanics are important as well. So I teach the 9 pillars of health. And people can have that on my website all day long for free. It's a free download on my website. The 9 pillars of health. Put it up on your refrigerator. Do a mental check every single day if you're, feeding those foundation principles.
And then that's so perfect. You went right to that, because that's the final step is CTA, call to action. So what would you offer in a video for people to do? Like, comment, this word and you'll get this. If you're interested in this, what's people's next step if they want to work with you to heal their mold?
Comment legacy, comment mold. Any one of those will trigger the machine, right?
Where do they go to next? Would it be that website download? That's what you would send them to?
On my DMs in Instagram, on my DMs, or you can just go to my website and download the 9 pillars of health for free. Get on my email list, communicate with the email list. If you want to learn about mold, we have a mold-free PDF as well. My whole business model is so that everything's automated, so I can make a living and make free content for everyone else. If you consume my YouTube content, I got people from Pakistan and other third world countries that say, I watched all your YouTube videos and I changed my life. And for me, that's what I want. It's like, I truly believe that we should be able to live in the gift economy, and I should just be able to help you freely, and the law of reciprocity should come back on us. And so the money's fake. There's no intrinsic value to it. Until we change it, I need boatloads of it. I'm clear on that. I don't have a problem with making money in a valuable, honest way, in an authentic, honest way. But ultimately, if you just consume my content, or if a video helps you and you drill down to bedrock and watch some of my playlists on corrective exercise or whatever, and you gain everything for free. You could do this with Paul Chek too.
But do you also have a course?
I've got courses. I've got courses. I've got free. I've got seminars. I've got my online Knowledge of Self University.
Is there a paid one that includes mold?
Not specifically. The mold information is free, but if you want to go deep and put it all together, then my legacy method is for you. And so that's an 11-week course, and I certified you to become a certified health nut. Who doesn't want to be a certified health nut? And it comes with an 11-week course, level 1 certification, certified health nut. It comes with a one-on-one with me. And I think that's very important because we really lock it in. And I think when you invest a good amount of money on yourself, then you really pay attention. And my clients get results, serious results.
100%. If people get everything for free, you know, they'll sit down, put on a video, maybe also be on their phone at the same time. When you invest in it, you're ready. You're taking notes.
You pay attention.
You're putting it into
when
action.
You pay,
yes.
you pay attention. And I give everything to my clients. Like, I'm not a person that takes people's money and don't deliver.
Exactly.
I over deliver. Like, that's my energetic template. Mainly, you know, not just because I've been fucked over myself by other bamboozlers, but that's just in my energetic template.
That's the right thing to do.
I fucking A, man. I just think, you know, it hurts that people take people's money and don't deliver. It's like, I'm here to over deliver, and my time is extremely valuable. And if I get a one-on-one with you, I'm going to drill down to bedrock, figure out the etiology and the root cause of your mental defilement or your physical issue. And then we're going to get very clear. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to abuse you, put you down, blame, like any of that stupid shit. You know, if you want to smoke, let's build a house around your chimney. I'm not going to tell you you're a piece of shit because you use tobacco. If you're smoking commercial cigarettes, I'm going to educate you that there's 400 chemicals in those things,
Right.
and they're highly addictive, and there's saltpeter, which will give you limp dick and other things. If you want to smoke real tobacco, I'll tell you where to get the best. And tobacco is a sacred plant, and it clears negative energy and grounds you to the earth, and that is the tool of the sacred plant. But not that it's adulterated. And if you want to get off of it, then I'm going to help move you in every single direction.
Right, meeting people where they're at.
Correct. Instead of putting people down and making you do burpees because you're overweight, and that may throw out your back, and then you're a couch potato, and then you're not going to move forever. And that's what most trainers are doing. They're hacks. They don't know how to deal with their clients of where they're at.
Yeah, and I think it's really dangerous when you get into a situation to where you're hurt, because now there's so many doctors, trainers that don't really know what they're doing, and you go to them and they just further hurt you, and then you go to another one. So you have to be so careful when you are in that, you know, vulnerable state. Like, who are the experts and the professionals you're seeing? Because more often than not, people go and see these doctors and these experts that have been programmed by college for 8 years, and they just give them some brand new drug that their superior told them to give them, and now they're addicted for the rest of their life with an onset of problems, right? It's the world we live in. And Troy, I really appreciate you going and say, all right, let's drill down to bedrock, right? There's all these, you know, hackers, you know, they have the red light face masks, and they're, you know, 50 and they're on 80 different drugs, and they wake up and they swallow pills for 45 minutes, right? Like,
or inject drugs.
Or inject drugs in their butt cheek.
Peptides and TRT, which doesn't sound like steroids and drugs.
Exactly.
It sounds like biohacking. Bullshit.
Yeah, so it's the world we live in, and you have to find, you know, I like a tribe of mentors, right? Multiple people that you respect that are experts in their field, living it, and they resemble it. Like you said, they're not just a talking head. They're, you know, they're ripped at 60 now, right?
Cock D at 60.
Yeah.
That's the new one. I've gained 25 pounds since that book.
Yeah, and that's why we also have a responsibility as creators to be superseller storytellers. Tell our story, be the living, walking, breathing results of our literal life story, what we've been through, and we're here now, and we can help others get there too. But also, we gotta eat. We gotta sell people things. They also get more value when they actually buy courses and tune in, like we were talking about. So the final part of that framework is the call to action. So you could say comment healing, comment health, comment mold free, whatever below, if you're interested in going deeper on this and healing yourself.
Comment transformation. I've been working with the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation for over a decade. I mean, find me an influencer that's been doing, I've been on the internet for 20. I've been with this company for 10. I've been in front of the camera for 35, and I've been studying juice fasting and herbal medicine for 35 years. So, and only 4 to 6% of the food on the market is organic. So that's why I recommend people buy the Purium from me or my team or whatever, because you're not going to find organic nutrients on the fly. You're just not. And if you're living the van life or any of that stuff, or you're a hippie and you're already taking superfoods, consider working with my company.
Exactly. So depending on the video, however you want to do it and set up the ManyChat trigger, creators pay attention to this. Then you set up an automated DM and send it to the person. You could just give them those 3 options of, hey, here's a free download. I want to give you free value. If you want that, here it is. I also have a course if you want to go deeper with me. And if you're ready to do a whole detox protocol, here are my Purium supplements. And so that's really important too, of not just posting for years into the void like I did because I didn't have mentorship, and I just hoped one day brand deals would come my way, and hopefully this will make me money one day. It's important to, after you share your story, send something out, whether it's a product you developed, a product you just partnered with like Purium and you just can plug into their existing system.
Leverage.
A product like a book, a course, whatever it is, send something to them.
I have affiliates for anybody that wants to work with my legacy program, and the payoff is juicy. I think it's $500 to $1,000 depending on what tier you're on, and so that's good sales for some people.
And so bringing it back, and I bet people will do that and join some of these things after this video, because did that feel authentic? Like if you cut out my questions and you put that into a video of you sharing about how mold took you to your knees, how now you're ripped at nearly 60. Crazy, by the way, congrats, super inspiring. And following the tips you recommended.
Steroids.
All natural. Organic. Following those, and then you let them know you have resources for them. Does that feel like you're selling, so authentic, or is it authentic?
Not only that, but like I'm actually an easy sell when you know I know something that works, and I also have money as a businessman, and I invest in myself. I already know that I was going to work with you guys, so I'm going to get your program and do some coaching.
Wildfire.
With you. Yeah, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's do it, right? Because we all need help and coaching, and
we're always growing, unless we think we're perfect. Or
well, and you guys have something like, I'm focused on me and what I'm doing and my kids and everything else, and I do know storytelling's important, and I can tell a good story, but also having a coach to direct you of like, do this. Because if you tell me something to do, I'm going to go do it. It's going to be done in 15 minutes, and you're going to like, that works or doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm going to make another one, and that works. And then in a week, I'm going to have a bunch of killer content, and then
that's authentic.
And then I've got the platforms. We're going to test it.
Yeah.
And if I get results, then I'm going to come back for more.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to work with you guys.
Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
Big
Right?
things to come. Going to send out ripples in the world of health and wellness.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. It takes, you know, everyone to have their own like point of view, and je ne sais quoi, the gift economy. Yeah. Again, you know, you got bullied. You saw the impact of that. Then your dad was dying from alcoholism, and then you got impact from that, and then it drove you, and now you understand all this attention and what do you do with it, and you have friends in the space, and you're young, and this is powerful, and you want to help people, right? Like genuine help people and help people monetize. And as an influencer, it is a challenge to monetize yourself and own your own business. It's one thing to turn the cameras on. It's another thing to get the attention. And then it's another thing to even monetize that. And so the fact that—
And then if you're doing all of them, is it for some fake stuff, or is it really about you? Is it highlight reels now and you're just shilling even though you have all this attention and you're selling? Or are you being authentic to you?
Because the backside of that is all this type of attention. Like I got a lot of attention as a Versace model, and what did that turn into? That turned into alcoholism and partying, because there was a lot of drugs and alcohol around that. And so it can actually be people's success can actually be detrimental. And so there is also a psychological component, a spiritual component of, you know, the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of success. You know, there's layers of even, you know, this understanding. And so
well, people get to the other side of things. At first, it's like, I'm scared to start. How do I start? How do I start doing this? But if you get all the success and you have money on the pedestal or just fame, you build a whole business and this whole following and everything. And you look around one day and go, this isn't me. Who are all these people? What is my life? I'm successful, but what has that really brought me? And so that's why it's really key to be in a community like ours, with people who've been through it all, and tap into each other's vast knowledge of, hey, like, what should I prioritize? What should I focus on? That's why we lead people through their why power first off right away. Why are you even doing this at all? Why are you posting? Because if you don't have that straight, the compass is taking you down a route that one day can get very dark.
I mean, look at Justin Bieber or anyone in the 27 Club. You can have that success and become a Jim Morrison or a Janis Joplin or Kurt Cobain and have all that incredible success and then just burn out. And so, grounding it into your why should make you cry. And my why does now. I mean, my why is intertwined with my legacy, my children. Like, it's very, very important. And also my brothers and sisters of planet Earth and the sacredness of the earth. I mean, I've traveled all around the world. You know, I've been around the world 15 times, went to the Amazon, drank ayahuasca. This is a powerful, sacred gift, this life on earth. And you know, the ecosystem and how we're trashing the planet, you know, it's a huge responsibility. And I take that responsibility as a man on myself. I'm not waiting for any government to come and save me or save the world or change business. I'm here to innovate and change business. That's my job. And so I take this stuff, you know, really seriously. And that, for me, that's all about, you know, legacy and living. But let's wrap this up. Where can people get a hold of you? How can people consume your content to understand your marketing and branding? And then how can people work with you?
Yeah, so Nikki, what's your Instagram? How can they find you?
Nikki.Neisler, Nikki.Neisler. That's my main following on Instagram, TikTok. YouTube's starting to roll out now, especially with all this amazing, great content we've been capturing during this retreat. Jack is JDR Wealth on Instagram, also rolling out YouTube. And our community is called Spark Wildfire.
.com.
No, you mean the website? Okay.
Sparkwildfire.com.
Yes. Is that the landing page or is there
That
a
is.
slash? Okay. You can tell he does more of the technical back end than I do. But yeah, like you said, we're taking this seriously. So if you want to be a creator, you're already a creator, you're ready to take it to the next level and take it seriously of what impact you want to have on this world, doing a eulogy, what do you want to be remembered for truly? What is your legacy? Because we are legends here at Spark Wildfire. We are igniting our sparks and starting a freaking wildfire.
Yep.
We truly believe that with the power of the creators all joining the community and using their platforms for good, taking back control, because we don't have, just having an impact besides for big news and all the stories they're telling, with our stories we're telling and our platforms that ripple out through the world, I think we can all change the direction of things and how they're going in the world for a more positive good. So if you guys want to be in the community, sparkwildfire.com.
Absolutely.
Well, and I just want to give a big shout out. Dakota just walked in. Maybe you might have seen him around the in the camera angles. But Bioculture Retreats, it was Christian and Dakota's intention to build this and to have an organic, holistic, healthy, grass-fed, raw milk, grounded, sunlight, nature-based, organic products, branding, marketing, content creation retreat. I dig this template.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
they're really onto something.
Oh yeah, I sometimes it gets weird, you know. Oh, let's do a mastermind. This is a really cool mastermind.
Big time.
Right? I've done a ton of content, maybe 10, 15 hours of solid content since I've been here. I got a lot done in a very small amount of time. I'm in a tropical environment. I feel really good. The intention is there. The people here are solid. We didn't experience any ego tripping. I heard there was some on previous retreats, but they got the boot. And so I just feel good vibes here and good knowledge. And I really appreciate, I look forward to working with you guys. I think I can get a lot done in a small amount of time working with you guys.
Absolutely.
So I've been doing it for so long. Sometimes you just need a little adjustment, and that's what I do with my clients. Like, who are you? Okay, let's point you in this direction. Does that resonate with you? Then fucking go. And then you come back next week. You can't do it. All right, let's make an adjustment. Or you did it and it works. Okay, keep doing that. Just keep doing that. Do what you love. Make sure you feel better, and then the pounds come off and the results come in. And so if I'm working with a good crew and I'm getting good advice, I will get results. I'll test it immediately and I'll get results.
Absolutely, and like the community effect of what you've experienced at Bioculture Retreat here this week, Spark Wildfire is like the online version of that. You never know what you don't know till you're around a group and they start sharing the ideas and also seeing the gaps. Like, we're gonna coach you and see those gaps, but so are the other members of the community, and they're all gonna chime in, and they're even gonna say stuff that can really resonate with you and change your life and your entire direction, even more than we can see sometimes, because community is so powerful.
Absolutely, and we all have a shared vision around health and wellness and making the world a healthier, more vibrant place, right? To where most people, like I said earlier, it's about money. That's their North Star. Everyone here is really trying to make a real impact in the world. So we do turn a lot of people away from the community that we don't think are a great fit, because it's really important to have a high quality community, so everyone can grow so much faster.
Yeah,
he's one of one.
I know.
Well, and I like the analogy that you gave with Christian, CVC Wellness on Instagram, Christian Van Camp. He is amazing. I've been following him for years. I really resonated with him. He's a nice guy. He's super fit. He's healthy. He's got exercise science and nutrition behind him from college. He's only 27. I've known him since he was 21. He was with me with Purium as well back in the day. And he does really good online. His call to actions, his courses, his course builder built my course, freedombuilders.com. Big shout out to Mike Gonzalez. And so we share that as well. And I just know that, I came to this event, so obviously he attracted me here. His intentions are clear, and he has an incredible brand online, CVC Wellness. And then his examples with what you're teaching with the storytelling. I learned so much in a short amount of time, and it's not like we had big workshops. I think we spent 40 minutes with you guys, and then we're actually living it, right?
Yeah.
We're experiencing it here. So what's your parting words, guys?
Parting words is to, put your purpose and vision, make that the main thing. Everything else, there's so much distraction in this world. So if you can really cultivate what Troy was talking about earlier, finding your vision and your North Star, society puts all these conditions and beliefs on us. So you really have to wipe yourself clean from that and find out who you are.
Absolutely. A big thing we're always told is you need to pick a niche. You don't need to pick a niche.
I always hated that.
You just need to find out who you are
yourself.
and tell that story.
Fucking A. Just be yourself at the 100%. The expression. Unapologetically, your motherfucking self.
Mm-hmm. And isn't that what we're here for at the end of the day, is self-actualization?
Yeah.
We'll have to talk later about the esotericness of being an influencer and refining yourself and going into the fire all the time. you guys will have to come back for part 2.
And we will. I can't wait for the next one, to be honest. It's like I actually want to do this all the time because I shot so much content. I made some good friends. I'm in nature. I think they're having another one in like 2 weeks. And I think they're planning them out in Tulum and Playa del Carmen and back here at Sayulita.
Oh, and Costa Rica is coming up too.
Costa Rica. So consider that, guys, joining Mastermind with biocultureretreats.com, and me, I'll be part of it too. And so it'll be great.
And Spark Wildfire.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah. God bless.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it. God
Troy.
bless.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.